Why your dog puts their paw on you, the hidden emotional meaning, your dog just walked over to you. They sat down beside you, quietly, without drama, and placed their paw on your leg. And you reached down, gave it a little pat, maybe smiled, and went back to whatever you were doing. But what if that small moment was saying something you have been missing your whole life together? Because here is what most owners never realize. That paw is not a reflex. It is not a trained behavior. It is not your dog being cute or demanding or attention-seeking. It is one of the most deliberate forms of communication your dog is capable of, rooted in biology, shaped by thousands of years of evolution, and carrying up to 6 completely different meanings depending on the moment it happens. Once you understand what your dog is actually saying when they reach out and touch you, you will never receive that gesture the same way again. Let us talk about what is really happening. 1. It is the closest thing to holding your hand. Start here, because this is the thing most owners never fully consider. Your dog does not have hands. They have paws. And in the world of dogs, paws are not instruments of tenderness. They are tools, built for movement, for digging, for stabilizing, for play. They are functional by design. So when your dog deliberately, gently, and without any external trigger places their paw on your body, something genuinely interesting is happening. They are taking a part of themselves that was never designed for softness, and using it to express softness. They are reaching toward you with the only thing they have. In canine communication, deliberate physical contact initiated without excitement, without a command, without food nearby, is one of the clearest expressions of social bonding that exists. Your dog could lie beside you without touching you. They could rest near you with a comfortable gap between you. But they chose, in that quiet, ordinary moment, to close that gap and place a part of their body against a part of yours. That is not habit. That is a decision. And the only beings dogs reserve that kind of deliberate, unprompted contact for are the ones their nervous system has quietly filed under one category: safe. Mine. Family. So the next time your dog rests their paw on your knee during an ordinary evening, understand what is actually happening. You are not being interrupted. You are not being asked for anything. You are being held. In the only way they know how. 2. It is how they ask without demanding. Some dogs bark for attention. Some whine. Some jump up, pace at the door, or fix you with a stare so intense it is genuinely difficult to look away. But then there is a different kind of ask, the quiet one. The paw placed gently on your leg that says, I am here. I would like to be noticed. But I am not going to make a scene about it. This matters more than it might seem. Because a dog who uses the paw gesture to ask for attention is a dog who learned somewhere along the way that the soft signal works. They tried it, you responded, and the lesson became part of how they communicate with you. A dog who barks or jumps for attention is often a dog whose softer signals were missed for too long. The quiet ask stopped working, so they found a louder one. But the dog who reaches out with one paw. That is a dog who trusts that you will notice. That you are present enough to catch something subtle. That you will not need them to shout. That is not a small thing. It is your dog reflecting something back at you, about the kind of owner you have been. Patient enough to notice. Present enough to respond. Quiet enough in yourself that they never had to raise their voice to reach you. That paw is, in its own way, a compliment. 3. It is regulating both of you at the same time. This is where the science becomes extraordinary. Research conducted at Linköping University in Sweden found that physical contact between bonded dogs and their owners produces measurable physiological changes in both species simultaneously. Cortisol drops. Heart rate slows. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical that surges between a mother and newborn, rises in both the human and the dog at the same time. But here is the part that most people never hear. The effect is strongest when the contact is initiated by the dog, not by the owner. When your dog reaches out and places their paw on you, their body is not simply expressing closeness. It is actively regulating itself through you. And yours is regulating through them. Neither of you is fully conscious of it. Neither of you chose it in any deliberate way. But it is happening, a quiet, biological exchange that both of you, night after evening after ordinary moment, have come to depend on. Your dog is not just touching you because they enjoy the feeling. They are touching you because their nervous system has learned something specific. Contact with you produces calm. Real, measurable, physical calm. Their breathing slows. Their muscles soften. The stress chemistry in their body settles. In those moments, you are not just their companion. You are their off switch. And they, without knowing it, are yours. 4. It is how they check on you when something feels different. Pay attention to when the paw arrives. Were you quieter than usual? Had you just let out a long sigh? Were you sitting in a particular way, shoulders forward, head down, in a posture your body has only ever carried during hard moments? Had the emotional temperature in the room shifted in some way you had not even named yet? Because there is a specific kind of paw placement that dogs reserve for exactly these moments. And it is not coincidence. Dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to changes in human emotional state. They read your scent, which shifts when stress hormones change. They read your posture. They read the micro-expressions in your face that you cannot control and would not notice yourself. They read the rhythm of your breathing. When something moves in you, sadness, anxiety, the quiet early signs of something physical that has not yet fully surfaced, your dog often registers it before you do. And one of the ways they respond is by placing their paw on you. Not to fix it. Not because they have a solution. But to offer the one thing their biology has always known how to give, presence. Contact. I noticed. I am here. I am not going anywhere. Owners describe this moment again and again, sitting in a difficult moment, not having said a word to anyone, and feeling a paw rest gently on their leg. They had given no obvious signal. Nothing had been expressed. But their dog had read them anyway, and answered in the only language available to them. That is not your dog being lucky. That is your dog doing precisely what 15,000 years of living beside humans built them to do. 5. It is how they remind you that you belong to them. This is the part that catches most people off guard. Your dog cannot say I love you. They cannot say I missed you today. They cannot say I have been waiting for this moment since the door closed behind you this morning. Language is simply not available to them. But they can place their paw on you. In canine social structure, physical contact between bonded individuals is one of the primary ways relationships are maintained and confirmed. Wild canids use it constantly, leaning, pressing, touching, using their bodies to communicate connection in a way that requires no sound and no expression. Your dog carries that wiring forward, unchanged, across thousands of years. When they walk over to you in the middle of a completely ordinary moment and reach out, they are doing what their ancestors did with the members of their group throughout history. They are confirming the bond. They are saying, you are mine. I am yours. We are still connected. Nothing has changed. And the reason it lands so deeply, once you begin to understand it, is this: we live in a world where humans rarely say these things to each other either. We go days, sometimes far longer, without confirming the bonds that matter most to us. But your dog does it every single day. In the only language they have ever had. Quietly, without ceremony, without needing you to say anything back. Once you start receiving it properly, every one of those small touches becomes something different. Not a request. Not a habit. A message that has been waiting, patiently, for you to understand it. 6. It is how they ask if everything is still all right between you. This last one is the one most owners never connect, until they hear it and suddenly everything makes sense. Has your dog ever placed their paw on you after a difficult moment? After you raised your voice? After tension moved through the house? After you came home from a hard day and were not quite yourself? That paw is almost never about the specific thing that happened. It is about something deeper, the disconnection they sensed. The shift in emotional temperature between you. The moment your usual warmth disappeared and was replaced by something they could not name but could absolutely feel. Dogs do not process right and wrong the way humans do. What they understand, with extraordinary precision, is the emotional state of the relationship. When something feels off, when distance enters the room, when the warmth goes quiet, your dog feels it before they understand why. And the paw is how they reach across that distance. A quiet bid for repair. A small, wordless offering that says, "Are we still us? Is everything all right between us? Whatever happened, I am still here." Most owners respond without thinking. They reach down. They cover the paw with their hand. They speak softly. And something repairs between them that neither of them ever formally named. That is your dog using one of the simplest tools available to them to keep the relationship intact. They are not asking to be forgiven. They are asking to be reassured that whatever moved through the room, you are still theirs. And they are still yours. That paw on your knee is not one thing. It never was. It is closeness being offered. It is attention being asked for, quietly, trustingly. It is two nervous systems regulating each other through the simplest possible contact. It is your dog checking on you when you didn't know you needed checking on. It is them confirming the bond that holds your entire shared world together. It is them reaching across a moment of distance and asking if you are still okay. All of it, in one small gesture you have probably received hundreds of times without fully knowing what you were holding. The paw on your leg in the evening is not a coincidence. It is not habit. It is your dog saying, in the only language they have ever had, "Out of everything in my world, the place I want to be is here. Touching you. Connected to you. Anchored to you." That is not a behavior. That is love, in the only form they have ever known how to give it. If this gave you a completely new way of seeing that small gesture, hit the like button and subscribe, because every video on this channel goes looking for the real science behind the moments most dog owners feel but never fully understand. Drop a comment below. What does your dog do with their paw that now makes complete sense? Tell me their name too. I read every single one.